My name is Julia. I worked for the man who broke my heart. I needed the job badly. Then I saw his face. He was my new boss. I am 24 years old. I live in a big city. The city is very noisy. The city is very fast. I grew up in a small, quiet town. My town was safe. My town was easy, but I wanted a bigger life. I wanted to do big things, so I moved to the city. I was very excited. I had big dreams. I thought life was easy. But I was wrong. Life in the city was hard. The city was very expensive. I did not have much money. I lived in a very small room. The room was cold in the winter. The room was hot in the summer. I had a small bed. I had a small table. I had one chair. That was all. I did not have a TV. I did not have a nice kitchen. I only had a small fridge. Most days the fridge was empty. I looked for work every day. I woke up early. I drank cheap coffee. I ate one piece of bread. Then I sat at my small table. I opened my old computer. I looked for jobs on the internet. I sent my paper to many places. I sent it to shops. I sent it to offices. I sent it to schools. I sent it everywhere. Then I walked outside. I walked on the streets. I asked people for work. I walked into cafes. I asked, "Do you need help?" They said no. I walked into big buildings. I asked the people at the desk. They said no. Everyone said no. I felt very sad. I felt very tired. My feet hurt from walking. My eyes hurt from the computer screen. I had no money for new shoes. I had no money for good food. Sometimes I ate only rice. Sometimes I ate only soup. I was hungry. I was scared. I felt very alone. Do you know this feeling? Have you ever felt lost? Have you ever felt scared about money? It is a very bad feeling. It makes your stomach hurt. It makes your head heavy. If you feel this way right now, please listen to me. It is okay to feel scared. It is okay to cry, but you must not stop. You must keep going. You can do this too. You must wake up and try again. That is what I did. One day I woke up. It was a Tuesday. The sky was grey. It was raining. I felt very sad that morning. I did not want to get out of bed. I pulled the blanket over my head. I wanted to sleep all day. But then my phone rang. Ring, ring. I looked at my phone. It was a number I did not know. I sat up. My hands were shaking. I took a deep breath. I answered the phone. I said, "Hello, this is Julia." A woman was on the phone. Her voice was nice. Her voice was polite. She said, "Hello, Julia. We saw your paper. We liked it. We want to meet you. Can you come for an interview today? Can you come at 2:00?" My heart jumped. My eyes went wide. I was so happy. I said, "Yes, yes, I can come. Thank you very much." The woman gave me the address. It was a big office building. It was in the center of the city. I hung up the phone. I smiled. Then I jumped up and down. I laughed out loud. I was so happy. I thought my life was finally changing. I thought the bad days were over. I looked in my closet. I needed nice clothes. I only had one nice shirt. It was a white shirt. I had one pair of black pants. I put them on. I cleaned my old shoes. I brushed my hair for a long time. I tied my hair back. I looked in my small mirror. I looked serious. I looked ready. I told myself, "You can do this, Julia. You are smart. You are strong." I left my room. I walked in the rain. I held my umbrella tight. The wind was cold, but I did not feel cold. I felt warm inside. I felt hope. I took the bus to the city centre. The bus was crowded. Many people were going to work. I looked at them. I wanted to be like them. I wanted to go to work every day. I wanted to have a safe life. I arrived at the building. It was very tall. It was made of glass. I walked inside. The lobby was warm. It smelled like fresh coffee. It smelled clean. I walked to the front desk. I told the lady my name. She smiled at me. She gave me a white card. She said, "Go to the 10th floor. Good luck." I got into the elevator. I pushed the button for the 10th floor. The elevator went up fast. My stomach felt funny. My hands were sweating. I wiped my hands on my pants. The doors opened. I stepped out. The 10th floor was very quiet. The floor had soft grey carpet. The walls were white. There were many big windows. I walked to the waiting area. I sat on a soft black chair. I waited. I looked at the clock on the wall. It was 1:55, 5 minutes left. I closed my eyes. I prayed. I said, "Please let me get this job. I need the money. I need to pay my rent. I need to buy food. Please." Then a door opened. I opened my eyes. A man walked out. He wore a dark blue suit. He had dark hair. He was tall. He looked at the paper in his hands. Then he looked up. He looked at me. My heart stopped. My blood ran cold. The air left my lungs. It was Mark. Mark was my ex-boyfriend. Mark was the man who broke my heart. Mark was the reason I cried for many months. And now he was standing in front of me. He was the boss. He looked at me. His eyes went very wide. His mouth opened a little. He dropped his pen. The pen hit the floor. It made a loud sound. We just looked at each other. The whole world was quiet. I could hear my own heartbeat. Thump, 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 thump. I must tell you about Mark. I must tell you about our past. Then you will understand. I met Mark 3 years ago. I was 21 years old. I was still living in my small town. Mark came to my town for work. We met at a coffee shop. I was sitting by the window. I was reading a book. I dropped my book on the floor. Mark was walking past. He stopped. He picked up my book. He handed it to me. He smiled. His smile was very beautiful. His eyes were kind. He said, "This is a very good book." I smiled back. I felt shy. I felt a warm feeling in my chest. We started to talk. We talked for an hour. We drank coffee. We laughed. It was very easy to talk to him. After that day, we spent all our time together. We walked in the park. We ate ice cream. We watched movies. We talked about our dreams. Mark was very smart. He wanted to be a big boss one day. He wanted to make a lot of money. I just wanted to be happy. I loved him very much. I loved him with all my heart. I thought we would be together forever. I thought he was my future. We were together for 1 year. It was the happiest year of my life. The sun always felt warm. The food always tasted good. I felt safe. I felt loved. But then things changed. Mark got a new job in the big city. He was very busy. He did not call me often. He did not come to visit me. I waited for his calls. I sat by my phone all day. I asked him, "Are you okay? Do you still love me?" He always said, "I am just busy, Julia. Work is hard." Then one day he came to my town. He looked different. He looked cold. We sat on a bench in the park, the same park where we used to laugh. He did not look at me. He looked at the ground. He said, "Julia, I am sorry. I cannot do this any more." I did not understand. I asked, "Do what? What do you mean?" He said, "Us, I cannot be with you. My life is different now. I live in the city. I have a big job. You're a small town girl. We are not the same anymore. I need to focus on my career. I am leaving." He stood up. He walked away. He did not look back. He just left me there. I was broken. I could not breathe. I cried and cried. I sat on that bench until it was dark. I felt a pain in my chest. It was a real physical pain. My heart was broken, truly broken. I did not eat for days. I did not sleep for weeks. I was tired. I was lost. I was alone. It took me a long time to heal. It took me a long time to smile again. I told myself I must be strong. I decided to move to the city. I wanted to prove him wrong. I wanted to show the world I was strong. I was not just a small-town girl. And now 3 years later, here he was standing in front of me in a blue suit. "Julia," he said. His voice was low. "Hello, Mark," I said. My voice was shaking. He picked up his pen. He looked around. He looked nervous. He cleared his throat. He said, "Please come into my office." I wanted to run. My legs wanted to run away. I wanted to run out the glass doors. I wanted to run back into the rain. I wanted to hide in my small room. I did not want to see him. I did not want to feel that pain again. But then I remembered my empty fridge. I remembered my cold room. I remembered my unpaid rent. I had no money. I had no food. I had no choice. I needed the job badly. So I took a deep breath. I stood up tall. I walked into his office. His office was very big. It had a big wooden desk. It had a great view of the city. He sat behind the desk. He pointed to a chair. I sat down. I kept my back straight. I put my hands on my lap. I did not smile. He looked at my paper. He said, "So, you live in the city now?" "Yes," I said. "You need a job as an assistant," he said. "Yes, I am a hard worker. I learn fast," I said. I sounded very professional. I did not sound like his old girlfriend. I sounded like a stranger. He looked at me for a long time. His face was unreadable. Then he sighed. He said, "This is very strange, Julia. We have a past." "My past is my past," I said. "I am here for a job. I need the money. You need an assistant. I will do a good job. We do not have to be friends. We only have to work." He nodded slowly. He asked me a few questions about my skills. I answered them perfectly. I did not let my voice shake. I was strong. You can do this too. When you are scared, pretend you are brave. Soon you will be brave for real. At the end of the interview, he put my paper down. He said, "Okay, you have the job. You start tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Do not be late." "I will not be late," I said. I stood up. I walked out of the room. I walked to the elevator. I went down to the lobby. I walked out into the rain. When I was outside, I stopped. I leaned against the wall. I put my hands over my face. I took deep breaths. I felt very confused. I had a job. I had a real job in a big office. I would have money. But my boss was Mark. My boss was the man who broke my heart. I felt happy and sad at the same time. My heart felt heavy, but I smiled. I would not starve. I survived the first step. The next day, my new life began. I woke up at 6 o'clock. I ironed my white shirt. I went to the office. The first week was very hard. The work was not easy. There was a lot to learn. I had to answer the phone. I had to type letters. I had to organize files. I had to use a new computer program. My head hurt every day. My eyes were dry. My fingers were tired. But the hardest part was Mark. He was my boss. He was very strict. He did not smile at me. He gave me orders. "Julia, print this. Julia, call this client. Julia, bring me my coffee." He liked his coffee black. No sugar, no milk. Every morning I went to the break room. I poured the black coffee into his white cup. I walked to his big office. I put it on his desk. He never looked up. He never said thank you. He just kept looking at his computer. I felt very small. I felt invisible. I remembered how he used to look at me. I remembered how he used to hold my hand. Now I was just a worker. I was nobody to him. This hurt me. It hurt me deep inside. One day I made a mistake. It was a busy Thursday. The office was very loud. The phones were ringing. I typed a letter, but I typed the wrong number in the letter. It was a letter for an important client. I gave the letter to Mark. He read it. His face turned red. He called me into his office. He did not close the door. "What is this, Julia?" he said loudly. Everyone in the office could hear. "It is the letter for Mr. Smith," I said softly. "Look at this number," he said. He pointed at the paper. "This is wrong. If I send this, we lose money. Are you not paying attention? You must be careful. This is a real business, not a game." He shouted at me. I felt my face get hot. My eyes filled with tears. I looked down at my shoes. I felt so stupid. I felt so small. "I am sorry," I whispered. "I will fix it." I took the paper. I walked back to my desk. I typed the letter again. My hands were shaking. A tear fell on my keyboard. I wiped it away quickly. When it was lunchtime, I went to the bathroom. The bathroom was small and white. I went into a stall. I locked the door. I sat on the toilet and I cried. I cried hard. I cried because I was tired. I cried because the work was hard. I cried because Mark was so mean. I cried because I felt completely alone in the big city. I thought everything was fine. But I was wrong. I wanted to quit. I wanted to pack my bags and go back to my small town. I wanted to run away from him, but then I stopped crying. I wiped my face with toilet paper. I looked at the white door. I thought about my life. I thought about my empty fridge. Now my fridge had food. I could pay my rent. I had money in my pocket. I earned it. I told myself, no, I will not quit. I will not let him win. He broke my heart once. He will not break my spirit. I am stronger than this. I stood up. I went to the sink. I washed my face with cold water. I looked in the mirror. My eyes were red, but my face was serious. I said to the mirror, "Julia, be strong. Learn the job. Do it perfectly. Be the best. Do it for you." If you are listening, please remember this. When people are mean to you, do not run away. When things are hard, do not quit. Wash your face. Look in the mirror. Tell yourself you are strong. You are braver than you think. I went back to my desk. I sat down. I opened my notebook. I started to study the computer program. I stayed late that day. I stayed late the next day. I read all the old files. I learned how the office worked. I asked questions. I asked the other workers for help. They were nice. They taught me many things. Weeks passed, then months passed. I got better at my job. I did not make mistakes anymore. I typed very fast. I knew every file. I knew every client. I answered the phone with confidence. I was a very good assistant. Mark noticed. He stopped shouting. He stopped being so cold. Sometimes he looked at me with surprise. He saw how hard I worked. He saw that I was smart. Winter came. The city was covered in white snow. The office was warm. We had a very big project. It was the biggest project of the year. The company wanted to win a big client. Mark was in charge of the project. He was very stressed. He had dark circles under his eyes. He drank too much coffee. He stayed in the office until midnight every day. I stayed too. I did not have to stay, but I wanted to do my job well. I helped him prepare the papers. I made charts. I made folders. I checked all the numbers. One night, it was very late. It was 11 o'clock at night. The office was completely empty. It was dark outside. The snow was falling past the big windows. Only Mark's office had a light on. I was at my desk. I was typing the final report. I printed it. I put it in a blue folder. I walked to Mark's office. I knocked on the door. "Come in," he said. His voice sounded very tired. I walked in. I put the blue folder on his desk. "Here is the final report, Mr. Evans," I said. I always called him Mr. Evans at work. Never Mark. He looked at the folder. He opened it. He turned the pages. He read my work. He nodded slowly. "This is perfect, Julia," he said. "There are no mistakes. The charts are excellent. You did a great job, thank you." "You are welcome," I said. I turned to leave. "Julia, wait," he said. I stopped. I turned back around. I looked at him. He took off his glasses. He rubbed his eyes. He looked very tired, but he looked like the old Mark. The Mark from my small town, the Mark I used to love. "Please sit down for a minute," he said. He pointed to the chair. I hesitated, but I sat down. I kept my back straight. I waited. The room was very quiet. We could hear the wind blowing outside. "I want to apologize," he said quietly. I did not speak. I just looked at him. "I want to apologize for how I acted when you first started," he said. "I was harsh, I was mean, I was unprofessional, I was shocked to see you, and I was ashamed." He looked down at his hands. "And I want to apologize for the past, for what I did 3 years ago. I left you on that bench. I broke your heart. I was young. I was stupid. I let this city go to my head. I thought I needed to be a cold, hard man to be successful. I left the best thing in my life because I was foolish." He looked up at me. His eyes were full of regret. "You are an amazing woman, Julia. You are so smart. You work so hard. You have saved this project. You have saved me these past few weeks. I am so sorry I hurt you. I really am." I listened to his words. I sat in the chair and I just listened. A year ago, I would have cried to hear these words. A year ago, I would have run to him. I would have hugged him. I would have said, "I still love you. Let us be together again." But now I sat there. I looked at his face. I waited for my heart to beat fast. I waited for the old pain to return. I waited for the love to wake up, but nothing happened. My heart was quiet. My heart was calm. I did not feel sad. I did not feel angry. I felt nothing for him. I looked at him. I saw a tired man in a blue suit. He was just a man. He was not my whole world anymore. He was just my boss. In that moment, I realized something beautiful. I was free. I was truly free. The hard work, the late nights, the tears in the bathroom, they had changed me. I had built a new life with my own 2 hands. I had paid my own rent. I had filled my own fridge. I did not need him. I did not need his love. I only needed myself. I loved myself now. I respected myself now. I smiled. It was a small, genuine smile. "Thank you for saying that, Mark," I said softly. I used his first name for the first time in months. "I accept your apology." He looked hopeful. He leaned forward. "Julia, do you think we could maybe try to be friends? Maybe get coffee outside of work?" I shook my head slowly. "No, Mark, I do not think so." His face fell. "Why?" "Because we are different people now," I said. "You are right 3 years ago. We do not belong together, but not because I am a small-town girl. We do not belong together because I have moved on. You are my past. I am looking at my future." I stood up. I felt very tall. I felt very strong. "Good night, Mark," I said. "Good luck with the meeting tomorrow. The report is ready." I walked out of his office. I did not look back. I walked to my desk. I packed my bag. I put on my warm coat. I walked to the elevator. When I stepped outside the building, the cold wind hit my face. The snow was falling fast. It was beautiful. I took a deep breath of the cold air. I smiled a very big smile. I felt so light. I felt like I could fly. I walked to the bus stop. I was not afraid of the cold anymore. I was not afraid of anything. The next day, Mark had his big meeting with the client. He used the report I made. The client loved it. The client signed a big contract with our company. It was a huge success. The big boss of the whole company was very happy. His name was Mr. Davis. Mr. Davis came to our floor. He shook Mark's hand. Then Mr. Davis came to my desk. "You are Julia, right?" Mr. Davis asked. He was an older man with white hair. He had a kind smile. "Yes, sir," I said. I stood up. "Mark told me about you," Mr. Davis said. "He told me you did all the research for the report. He told me you stayed late every night," he said. "You are the smartest assistant in the building." I looked at Mark's office. He was standing by his door. He nodded at me. "Thank you, sir," I said to Mr. Davis. "I try to do my best." "Well, your best is excellent," Mr. Davis said. "We need people like you. I am starting a new team on the top floor. It is a very important team. I want you to join my team. You will not be an assistant anymore. You will be a project manager. You will have your own office. You will make more money. Do you want the job?" I could not believe my ears. A project manager, my own office, more money. I felt a rush of pure joy. I thought about my small room. I thought about my cheap meals. I thought about the days I walked the streets asking for work. I had worked so hard for this. I had cried for this. Now my reward was here. "Yes," I said. My voice was loud and clear. "Yes, Mr. Davis, I would love the job. Thank you so much." "Good," he smiled. "You start on Monday." Mr. Davis walked away. I stood at my desk. I was shaking with happiness. Mark walked over to me. He had a small smile on his face. "Congratulations, Julia," he said. "You deserve it. You really do." "Thank you, Mark," I said. "Thank you for telling Mr. Davis about my work." "It was the truth," he said. "You earned it. You are going to do great things." "I know," I said, and I meant it. Friday was my last day on the 10th floor. I packed up my desk. I put my favorite pen in my bag. I put my notebook in my bag. I looked around the big, busy office. I remembered my first day. I remembered how scared I was. I remembered how my hands shook. Now my hands were steady. Now my heart was strong. I walked to Mark's office one last time. He was looking at his computer. "Goodbye, Mark," I said from the door. He looked up. He smiled a little sad smile. "Goodbye, Julia. Be happy." "I will," I said. I walked to the elevator. I pushed the button to go up. I was going to the top floor. I was going to my new life. It has been 2 years since that day. My life is very different now. I do not live in the small cold room anymore. I have a beautiful apartment. It has big windows. It gets lots of sunlight. I have a big, comfortable bed. I have a very big fridge. And the fridge is always full of good food. I love my job. I am very good at it. I work with a great team. I travel to different cities. I buy nice clothes. I am safe. I am happy. Sometimes I see Mark in the building. We nod at each other. We say hello. That is all. There is no pain. There is no sadness. He is just a man I used to know. He is just a part of my story. I often think about my journey. I think about the girl who cried on the park bench. I think about the girl who was hungry and alone. I think about the girl who hid in the bathroom to cry. I feel so much love for that girl. She was brave. She did not give up. I worked for the man who broke my heart. It was a crazy situation. It was very scary. But I am glad it happened. Working for him was the hardest test of my life. But passing that test changed everything. He did not break me. He made me stronger. He made me work harder than I ever thought I could. Because of him, I found my power. Because of him, I found my true self. I learned that my happiness does not come from a man. My happiness comes from me. Life is an interesting journey. Sometimes it gives you a smooth road. Sometimes it gives you a mountain to climb. Sometimes the thing you fear the most is the thing that makes you grow. I thought my life was over when my heart broke, but it was not over. It was just beginning. I had to learn how to stand on my own 2 feet. I had to learn how to fight for myself. If you are listening to my story right now, I want to tell you something important. Please listen closely. Maybe your heart is broken today. Maybe you are crying right now. Maybe you have no money. Maybe you are scared of the future. Maybe you feel like you are walking in the dark. I want to tell you that it is okay. It is okay to be exactly where you are. Feel your sadness. Cry your tears, but do not stay on the floor. You must get up. You must put on your shoes. You must step out into the world. Even if it is raining, even if the wind is cold. Do not run away from hard things. Face them. If you have to work with someone who hurt you, be professional. Be strong. Do your work better than anyone else. Let your success be your voice. Let your hard work be your shield. You are much stronger than you think. You have power inside you. You just have to wake it up. Hard work makes you strong. Time heals your heart. You will smile again. You will laugh again. You will find a safe place. Believe in yourself. When no one else believes in you, you must believe in yourself. Look in the mirror every morning. Tell yourself, I am brave, I am smart, I can do this because you can. I did it, and you can do it too. Every day is a new page. You are the writer of your story. Write a good story. Write a brave story. Keep moving forward. Keep climbing the mountain. Keep shining your light. Thank you for listening to my story. I hope it helps you. I hope it gives you courage. My name is Julia. I survived my broken heart, and now I am truly happy. Keep going. You will be happy too.